Hi everyone, I'm Helen from Susan's family. Today, I'd like to show you how to make the red and white Queen doll music box, the Red Chess Queen edition. It consists of the main part and accessories. Let's start by making the main part. Once it's completed, we'll make and attach the corresponding accessories. The main part is divided into the hem and the body, the hands and the head. We'll start by making the hands. After completing them, we'll move on to the other parts in sequence. During the body making process, we need to attach the hands. The hands are divided into 3 sections: the main part, the sleeves, and the pattern area. Start by crocheting the main part. Then pick up stitches at the corresponding position and crochet the sleeves. Finally, crochet and complete the patterns. Let's start by getting familiar with the table. In the table, round indicates the round number. The column for stitch instructions shows the stitch techniques needed for crocheting that particular round, including any increases or decreases. The stitch count indicates the total number of stitches for that round. After all the stitching has been completed, the main part of this toy is crocheted using the X-stitch single crochet. In the following crochet work, we will simply refer to it as a single crochet. The stitches used are X single crochet, V single crochet increase, W 3 single crochet in the same stitch, chain stitch, and slip stitch. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. For your convenience to see more clearly, I will use thick yarn for this demonstration. Random colors. For specific yarn details, color schemes, and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product. The starting method is magic ring. This means you need to start with an adjustable magic ring. Pick up the yarn with your right hand. Wrap it twice around your left index finger. Now there are 3 strands of yarn on your left index finger. Pinch the place where the loops overlap using your right thumb and index finger. Take it out. Then wrap the tail end once around your left little finger. Pass through between your middle finger and index finger. Transfer the loop to between your left middle finger and thumb. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. The hook moves between these 2 points. Insert the hook into the loop. Position the hook to the left of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Draw the yarn through. There is 1 loop on the hook. Crochet 1 more chain stitch to secure it. Yarn over. Pull through the loop. A chain stitch is now completed. Slightly tighten it. The magic ring is now finished. Next, crochet the first round. R1 is 6x. The number before X indicates how many single crochets you need to make. This means you will work 6 single crochets into the magic ring. First, make 1 beginning chain. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This is the turning chain for the single crochet. This turning chain is not marked in the chart. In reality, when crocheting in rounds, you need to work a turning chain at the beginning of each round, and the turning chain does not count as a stitch. Then start working single crochets. Insert into the magic ring. Place the hook above the yarn tail. Yarn over. Draw through. Now there are 2 loops on your hook. Place the hook in front of the yarn tail. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Draw through the 2 loops on your hook. That completes 1 X stitch single crochet. The 2 strands forming a V shape at the top right are the stitch loops of a single crochet. 1 stitch loop represents 1 stitch. Continue with the second single crochet. Insert the hook. Position the needle above the yarn. Pull the yarn through. Position the hook in front of the yarn tail. Yarn over counterclockwise. Draw through both loops on the hook. The second single crochet is now completed. You need to work 6 stitches in this round. Repeat this process. Continue crocheting downward. Before pulling the yarn through, always place the hook above the yarn tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The corresponding stitch pattern in the chart is now done. After that, close the magic ring. There are 2 loops. First, give a gentle tug on the starting tail. You'll see one loop is movable. Tighten the moving loop. One loop remains. Simply pull tight the starting tail of the yarn. The loop is now closed. Then, slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch of the first round. This will finish with a slip stitch. It's on the left side of the yarn tail, at the second chain from the start. 1, 2. It's this large chain. If you still can't tell, you can also count back from the last stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's still this chain. Insert your hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. And pull through all loops on the hook. This completes the slip stitch. This is the chain formed by the slip stitch. It does not count as a stitch. You need to tighten it. The slip stitch is not indicated in the form. In actual crocheting in rounds, always finish by joining with a slip stitch and pull tight. This way, the first round is completed. Move on to crochet round 2. R2 is 6x. It indicates single crochets corresponding without adding or subtracting. A total of 6 stitches. First, make 1 beginning chain. Let me emphasize again. At the start of each round, you need to work a turning chain. I won't repeat this going forward. In the first stitch of the previous round, work 1 single crochet. While crocheting, place the starting tail of the yarn above the crochet hook. Weave in as you go along. Continue working 1 single crochet in each stitch. After completing, remember to check the stitch count. Work evenly without increasing or decreasing here. The fabric will naturally curl. Adjust the fabric so that the right side faces out. That is, the side with a more distinct texture. Then slip stitch into the first stitch. Pay attention carefully. There will be 2 chain spaces between the first stitch and the last stitch. These are the V-shaped loops. Specifically, they are from the slip stitch of the previous round and the beginning chain of this round. Skip these 2 chains. Work on the first stitch. Yarn over, draw the yarn through, and draw through in once the loops on the hook. Complete the slip stitch. Pull tight. You can cut off the extra yarn tail from the beginning chain directly. Round 2 is now completed. Continue with the third round. Our 3 is 5x, W. First, work 5 single crochets evenly without increasing or decreasing. Then make 1 single crochet that places 3 stitches into 1 stitch, that is, in one position. Work 3 single crochets. One, 2, 3. 3 single crochet into 1 stitch is completed. Later, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight. The third round is now completed. Move on to the fourth round. Work even with single crochets. The method is identical to the second round. It just has a different stitch count. I won't go into detail here. Work this round completely. After finishing, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. And pull tight. This completes the fourth round. Now move on to the fifth round. First, work 4 single crochets evenly. Then make 2 single crochet decrease. Start with the first stitch. Let's take a look first. At the 2 strands of the stitch. The strand closer to the right side is called the front loop. The other one is the back loop. Insert your hook into the front loop of the next stitch. Then insert your hook into the front loop of the left stitch. There should be 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over. Draw through the first 2 loops. Now you have 2 loops left. Yarn over again, and draw through in once. The single crochet decrease is now completed. This method of picking up only the front loops to make a decrease stitch is called an invisible decrease. When you crochet using this method, the gaps between stitches are smaller. The fabric overall looks more delicate. Work one more single crochet decrease below. Insert your hook through the front loops of the next 2 adjacent stitches on the left side. Yarn over. Pull through the first 2 loops on your hook. Repeat this step twice. 1 time. 2 times. You have now completed the single crochet decrease. Finish with a slip stitch. Tighten the yarn. That completes the 5th round. Here, I'll use this sample to teach you a way to count rounds. Take a look at the fabric. On the right side, each raised texture represents 1 round. Count from the bottom upwards. This sample currently has 5 rounds in total. For the 6th to 15th rounds, continue working downwards. Work 6 single crochets evenly. This means starting from round 6, 1 stitch corresponds to 1 single crochet. Each round consists of 6 single crochets. Continue until the end of round 15. The method is simple. I won't demonstrate it here. Just remember to make a beginning chain before starting each round. At the end, finish with a slip stitch and tighten. After completing, move on to round 16. For this round, you need to switch colors while crocheting. First, fasten off the previous color. Start with a chain 1 to secure. Stretch the loop. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn. Cut the yarn. Pull tight. That completes the fastening off. Then, pick up the new color you want to change to. My sample uses random colors. Make a slip knot with the yarn. Then insert the hook into the spot where you fastened off before. Pick up the first stitch from the previous round. That is, the place where the slip stitch was inserted earlier. Draw the loop through. Adjust slightly. Pay attention to ensure the knot doesn't show on the right side. Then make 1 beginning chain to start. Correspondingly, work 1 single crochet. Here, note that the yarn tail should be placed above the hook. While crocheting, hide the yarn tail inside. Continue using this color for the next part. Work single crochets evenly into each stitch. Complete this round entirely. After finishing, join with a slip stitch. Tighten it up. You can cut off the remaining yarn tail. This completes round 16. Now move on to round 17. Work into the back loop of stitches only. Start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Then pick up below. Work a single crochet in the adjacent stitch. Focus on the back loop of the stitch. The stitches here are not very clear. They might be a bit tricky to pick up. Be mindful not to pick the wrong position. You can use a needle to loosen the stitch if needed. Work 1 single crochet increase here. This increase means working 2 single crochets into the same stitch. One, 2. Single crochet increase completed. Continue onward. Pick up the back loop of each stitch. Work single crochet increases correspondingly. That is, work 2 single crochets into one position. Finish crocheting the remaining part. Join with a slip stitch upon completion. Pull tight. Round 17 is completed. Move on to round 18. When there are no special markings afterward, simply pick up stitches and crochet. The chart for this round is XV*6. The parentheses indicate a group. The asterisk indicates the number of times to repeat the pattern. Start with 1 single crochet. Then work 1 single crochet increase. That completes XV. I'll demonstrate it again. Start with 1 single crochet. Then make 1 single crochet increase. This is the second time. You need to repeat XV 6 times. The remaining 4 repeats are all done with 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet increase technique. End with a slip stitch. Pull tight. That completes round 18. For rounds 19 to 20, both rounds are worked evenly in single crochet. It's a simple technique. You can complete these 2 rounds on your own. After completing, continue with round 21. Start with 1 single crochet. Then make 1 single crochet decrease. And that's it. I'll demonstrate it one more time. Start with 1 single crochet. Then make another single crochet decrease. That's the second time. Continue crocheting according to the previous method. Finish with a slip stitch. Pull tight. That completes round 21. Move on to round 22. It's single crochet worked even. You can complete this round on your own. After completing, proceed with stuffing. Grab the stuffing. First, fluff it up. Then stuff in the larger area, which is the area where the color changes. The bottom section does not need stuffing. Control the amount as you see fit. Too much stuffing will make the fabric too stiff. Too little and it won't hold its shape. After completing, crochet the final round. You need to crochet a single crochet decrease. The method has been demonstrated before, so I won't demonstrate it here. After completing, break the yarn. Crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave a little yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Pull tight. Tuck the yarn tail inside the fabric. That concludes the explanation of the main part of the hand. Next, we will crochet the sleeve. Along the other direction of the main body, pick the corresponding position and start crocheting. In the table, CH stands for chain stitch. Then, we also use 2 new stitches, F double crochet, and FV double crochet increase. Please watch me demonstrate. Here I will continue to demonstrate using this swatch. First, rotate the main part of the hand. The side with the opening should face down. Then find the remaining half of the 16th round. That is, the front half of the stitch. Insert the hook from the bottom upwards into the horizontal bar next to the slip stitch mark. Pick up the corresponding yarn. Here, I use random colors. Join the yarn. Make a slip knot first. Place it on the hook. Draw through. Adjust slightly. Pay attention that the knot should not show. Then make 3 chains as the beginning chain. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet. In the same position, work 1 double crochet, yarn over once. Insert the hook. Remember to weave in the yarn tail. Then yarn over using the X-stitch single crochet method. Draw the yarn through. There will be 3 loops on the hook. Then wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Pull through the first 2 loops. Now there are 2 loops left on the hook. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise again. Pull through once. 1 double crochet is done. Next, pick the front loop of the stitch on the left side. Work 1 double crochet increase. This increase means making 2 double crochets in one position. Yarn over once. Insert upwards into the front loop. Yarn over and draw through. Then wrap the yarn counterclockwise and pull through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 2 times. First time. Second time. The double crochet is completed. Work another double crochet. This completes the double crochet increase. Continue downwards. Pick up the front loops separately. Correspondingly make a double crochet increase. Finish crocheting the remaining part. Complete the last stitch position. Everyone, please check. Add the beginning chain. There are 12 double crochets here in total. Downwards on the third chain from the turning chain. Count upwards from the bottom here. Insert the hook under both strands of this chain. Crochet a slip stitch. Then pull tight. Fasten off the yarn. If there's any excess at the beginning of the yarn tail, you can cut it off. Hide the final yarn tail on the wrong side of the fabric. You can weave in a few more stitches for security. That concludes the explanation for crocheting the sleeve. Next, we'll make the pattern. Start by crocheting a round of gold, edging on the sleeve cuff. I'll continue demonstrating with the sample. Place the right side of the sleeve facing you. This is the side where the stitch texture is neat. Similarly, have the open side of the main piece facing down. Locate the position of the beginning chain. Insert the hook into the chain space, where the slip stitch was previously worked. Join the yarn. Then make one chain as your beginning chain. Correspondingly, make one single crochet. Pay attention to weaving in ends. Next, pick the adjacent stitch of the double crochet on the left. Work one single crochet. Then pick the insertion point underneath this double crochet. Work one single crochet. Don't pull the yarn too tight here. Keep it about the same height as the neighboring single crochet. And keep it in front of the double crochet. I consider 3 single crochets as one group. Continue working another group downward. Start by picking the adjacent stitch. Correspondingly, make 2 single crochets. Then pick the insertion point for the increase. Work 1 single crochet, one group is completed. Continue with this method for the rest. Crochet 4 more groups. After completing, join with a slip stitch on the first stitch. No need to pull tight. Break the yarn. Just hide the yarn tail on the wrong side of the fabric. The method is simple, so I won't demonstrate it. This completes one round of gold edging. Continue using the gold thread for the next part. Embroider in the protruding area at the top. First, take a length of about 1 meter of yarn. Thread the needle. Then insert your needle into any stitch from the last round. Here, insert the needle from the inside out. Pull the yarn through. Leave a little yarn tail. Then find the insertion position for the double crochet increase on the bottom. Go through the stitch where round 17 single crochet increase came out. Come out at the top stitch. Pay attention that the thread should be in the gap between 2 stitches. And it should be relatively straight. Pass the thread once more between these 2 points. Combine the 2 threads. This way, you've embroidered 2 line segments. Exit from the adjacent stitch on the left side below. Insert underneath at the adjacent double crochet increase. Corresponding to the chain space of round 17. Then separately go through the top stitch and bottom chain space. Sew 2 lines between these 2 points. There are 3 single crochets apart between these threads. Continue downwards. Go through the top stitch and the corresponding chain space of round 17 separately. Sew 2 line segments between these 2 points. There are 3 single crochets apart between these line segments. After completing, thread the yarn tail inside. Tie a few knots between the beginning and ending to secure. Trim the remaining tails shorter. Then tuck them inside. This way, the line segments are embroidered. Finally, use red cotton yarn. I'll demonstrate with a random color. Then wrap twice around the indented position. Place the beginning and end on the side with the slip stitch marks. After finishing, tie a double knot to secure. Trim the remaining strands shorter. Then crochet them into the fabric. I won't demonstrate this part here. This completes the pattern section. At this point, the entire process for making one hand is complete. Make the other hand in the same way. Next, we'll crochet the body. Start with the Adjust Ball Magic Ring. Crochet counterclockwise in rounds outward. While crocheting, you'll need to join the hands and change colors. No new stitch techniques are used here. Please watch as I demonstrate. First, start with crocheting rounds 1 through 43. The methods and stitches used here have been explained and demonstrated before when we covered the hand placement. Refer to those previous demonstrations for guidance. Refer to the chart. Complete the first 43 rounds by yourself. When crocheting, make sure to include the turning chain and slip stitch in every round. Pay attention, after completing the 11th round, you need to fit it with the music box. The music box has a base and a body. We can assemble them first. Align the nuts on the base with the screws on the body. And tighten them to secure. Here, let's compare the dimensions with the top of the box. If the dimensions differ significantly, you'll need to adjust your tension and crochet again. For the following sections, you can crochet according to the previous tension. After crocheting a few more rounds downward, you need to place the acrylic board on the base piece. Note that it should be placed on the inner side, with the right side facing out. During the subsequent crocheting process, stuff as you go. And make sure the stuffing is evenly distributed. Be mindful not to overstuff. Keep the bottom flat. The top should be about the same width as the flat bottom. That concludes the explanation for rounds 1 through 43. After completing, start crocheting round 44. This round requires joining the hands. Begin by adding a shaping wire to the body section. Pick up the shaping wire. First, put it against the body to check the height. Start from the bottom edge and go upwards. Leave an extra 7-8 centimeters here compared to the top of the body. Then fold it twice according to this dimension. This will create 3 sections like this. Trim off the remaining shaping wire. Next, twist the 3 shaping wires slightly to secure them. Then insert them into the center of the body. If it doesn't go in easily, you can use a crochet hook or your fingers to push the stuffing in the center towards the sides. Make sure to insert it all the way down. Now the shaping wire is attached. You can continue stuffing and fill up any gaps at the top of the fabric. Below, we will start crocheting. First, pick up where the previous yarn tail left off. Correspondingly, make 5 single crochets. Then pick up one of the hands. Here, I'll demonstrate using this sample swatch. Place it on the left side. Position the hand so that the protruding side is facing towards the body. Then insert your hook into the stitch on the body that corresponds to the hand's position. And also the stitch adjacent to it on the left side of the body. Now you've picked up stitches from both positions. Work 1 single crochet. Continue picking up stitches along the body. Correspondingly, make 10 single crochets. Next, pick up the other hand. Again, position it so that the protruding side faces towards the body. Then simultaneously insert your hook into 1 stitch corresponding to the hand, and 1 stitch corresponding to the body. Work 1 single crochet. Continue picking up stitches along the body area. Correspondingly, work single crochets. Finally, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Now the connection of the hand is completed. For the next step, you will need to change colors. Fasten off the yarn. This completes row 44. Next, let's work on row 45. Before starting, insert the shaping wire at the position of the hand. Pick up the remaining shaping wire. Insert it between the shaping wires on the body. Then fit well to check the length between the 2 hands. Fold the excess part inward. If you have a longer piece of shaping wire left, you can bend it by about 5 centimeters. Then trim off the excess. Next, insert it into both arms. This completes the installation of the shaping wires for the arms. Continue crocheting afterward. First, join the yarn at the previous fasten-off point. The method is the same as when changing colors at the hands. I won't go into further detail about this. Chain 1 to start. Then work 15 single crochets evenly. Start with 5 single crochets. After completing, move down to the connection point between the body and the arms. First, pick up the previous connecting single crochet, work 1 single crochet, then pick up the remaining stitches from the arm. Work 5 single crochets correspondingly. After finishing, move down to the body section. Start from the adjacent single crochet, work 4 single crochets correspondingly. At this point, you will have completed 15 stitches in total. Next, work 1 single crochet decrease. After completing, continue working single crochets correspondingly for the remaining stitches. When you reach the position of the connecting single crochet, skip it first and move down to pick up the position of the arm. Work 5 single crochets correspondingly. After finishing, pick up the connecting single crochet position and work a single crochet there. Then continue working single crochets correspondingly. Finally, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. This completes the 45th round. Continue crocheting as before. The stitch techniques used below have all been demonstrated earlier. I won't demonstrate further here. Refer to the chart provided. Simply crochet the remaining part accordingly. You still need to stuff while crocheting for the following sections. After completing the 48th round here, no more stuffing is needed. After finishing the last round, if there's any excess shaping wire, you can trim it off. Then close the opening. Crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave a yarn tail of about 10 centimeters. Cut the yarn. Pull the yarn through. Tighten it. Then thread the needle with the yarn tail. Pick up the front loops of the last round, and insert the needle from left to right. Finally, pull the yarn tight. Proceed to weave in the yarn tail. You can weave in the yarn tail a few more times. Trim the remaining strands. That concludes the explanation of the body section. Next, we'll crochet the hem. Crochet in rounds along the bottom edge of the body. There's no need to change colors. Please watch me demonstrate. First, crochet the first round. Pick up the same color yarn as the body. Locate the bottom edge of the body. You can see horizontal lines here. These are the remaining half stitches from before. First, find the position with the slip stitch marks. Pick up the strand next to it, and insert the hook from bottom to top. Join the yarn. Then make one beginning chain. Correspondingly, make one single crochet. Next, pick the horizontal bars on the left one by one. Work single crochets evenly. After completing, check the stitch count. Join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. That's how you complete the first round. The following rounds are worked in rounds with even single crochets. As you work, compare it with the music box. Just make sure this section can cover the box. It's a relatively simple method. I won't demonstrate it. Since the ending position of the last round requires edging, I'll demonstrate the technique using a sample swatch. The number of rounds in the sample swatch is not for reference. Complete the slip stitch of the last round. No need to pull it tight. Then enlarge the loop. Leave a little yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Count 2 chains from the yarn tail position going left. Insert the crochet hook from the back of this chain. Pull the reserved yarn through. Then insert again from the back into the chain of the slip stitch, that is, the chain below. Pick up the upper half stitch. Insert. Draw the yarn through. Adjust slightly. Finally, hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. This concludes the explanation of the hem section. Next, we will learn the crochet method for the head part. Start with an adjust ball magic ring. Crochet in rounds. Similarly, while crocheting, don't forget the beginning chain and slip stitch. Pay attention to stuffing after completing the 20th round. And make sure it's evenly and firmly stuffed. Then move on to crochet the remaining parts. After completion, there's no need to leave a yarn tail. Just fasten off normally. Finally, insert this protruding part into the head. You can use the crochet hook to assist. Ensure that the body can be attached here. If it doesn't fit easily, you can use the hook handle or a pair of chopsticks from your home to widen the opening a bit. That concludes the explanation for the head. Up to this point, the making of the main part has been fully explained. Next, we'll work on and attach accessories, including facial features, hair, and the crown, necklace, shawl, Body decorations. Hem decorations and the cane. First, we'll make the facial features. Start by outlining the eye sockets. This is on the front side of the 12th round of the head. Place the side with the slip stitch marks at the back. The two eye socket positions are about 6 single crochets apart. You can use pins to mark the positions first. Then pick up the crocheting yarn for the head. Here, I'll use a different color to demonstrate. Cut a length of yarn with a long tail. Thread the yarn through a darning needle. Then insert from any position at the back. Exit at the corresponding position at the front. Bring the yarn to the marked position. Start by leaving a little yarn tail. Then insert from an adjacent position at the back. Exit at the corresponding position on the left side. Insert the needle into an adjacent position. Bring the yarn to the starting yarn tail. Then pull tight on both yarn tails. You can check if the gaps around the eye socket are about the same. If there's any deviation, you can rethread and adjust the eye socket. Finally, tie a double knot with the two yarn tails. Hide the yarn tails inside. You can weave in a few more stitches if needed. Hide the other yarn tail inside using the same method. I won't demonstrate this part. This secures the eye socket in place. Next, glue the eyes onto the eye socket position. Apply glue on the backside of the eyes. Then place them in the center of the eye socket. Here, the eyes take up about 3 rounds vertically. The space between the 2 eyes is 4 stitches. That's how you assemble the eyes. Moving down, embroider eyebrows above the eyes. Pick up the black yarn. Cut a long segment of yarn tail, then pull out 1 strand. Insert it into a thin needle. Next, locate 2 rounds above the eyes. At the position spanning 3/4 stitches. Sew a slightly downward line segment for the eyebrow. The eyebrow width is about the same as the eyes. Start by inserting your needle from any position. Exit from the corresponding position. Remember, the 2 eyebrows need to be symmetrical. After completion, bring the yarn to the starting tail position. Tie a knot at the beginning and ending to secure it. Then hide the remaining tails inside the head. I won't demonstrate this part here. Finally, use glue to fasten upwards slightly, creating a brow peak. Be mindful not to apply too much. You can use a sewing needle for assistance. This way, the eyebrows are embroidered. Next, sew the nose in the circle below the eyes. Pick up a thread that matches the head's color. Then locate the 2 stitches directly below the centered 2 stitches of the eyes. The corresponding 2 stitches. Insert the hook in the middle of the stitch. Pass through twice. Leave a bit of tail at the start. After completion, bring the yarn back to the starting position. Thread the beginning tail to the same chain space as the ending tail. Tie both tails in a knot to secure. Hide both the yarn tail and the knot inside the head. You can weave in a few more stitches if you like. That's how you embroider the nose. Below the nose, skip 2 rounds. At the centered position, sew the mouth. Pick up the red yarn. I'll demonstrate with another color. Cut a long piece of yarn, then remove one strand. Insert the thin needle. Go down to the middle of 2 centered stitches. Through the gap between 2 stitches in the circle below. And sew 4-5 times respectively. This will eventually form a V shape. Start by inserting from a side position to the corresponding position. Leaving a little yarn tail. This is the 43rd minute of the demonstration. After completion, follow the gaps between circles, and insert towards the middle of an adjacent single crochet on one side. Embroider a line segment. Symmetrically embroider another line segment on the left side. Then bring the yarn back to the starting position. Tie off the beginning and ending yarn tails to secure them. Hide the yarn tails inside the fabric. I won't demonstrate this here. Finally, apply blush to the area slightly below the eyes. The method is simple. I won't demonstrate this here. Next, make the ears. Start with the adjustable magic ring. Crochet along the edge of the magic ring. The new stitch used here is T-half double crochet. Here, S represents slip stitch. Please watch me demonstrate the detailed crocheting method. Use the same color yarn as for the head to crochet. Begin with the adjustable magic ring. Then chain 1 to start. Work 1 single crochet in the magic ring loop. Work 1 half double crochet. Yarn over once. Insert the hook into the magic ring loop. Follow the yarn over method for X stitch single crochet, yarn over, draw the yarn through. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, and draw through all loops on the hook at once. 1 half double crochet is now complete. Then work another half double crochet, yarn over. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook. Half double crochet is now complete. Work 1 single crochet. Then make a slip stitch in the large space of the starting chain. No need to tighten. Finally, secure with a chain stitch. Leave a tail of about 15 centimeters. Break the yarn. Pull the yarn out. Tighten it. Close the magic ring. That completes one ear. We'll use the side with a clear braid edge as the right side. Work the other ear in the same way. After completion, attach the ears to the head. Thread the longer tail into a sewing needle. Mind that the right side of the ear faces forward. Then place it below the eyes, spanning one round and the next round. Here, the ear spans 2 rounds. It is also separated by 2 single crochets from the outer corner of the eye. Find the right position, sew along the bottom of the ear to match and sew together with the head. After completion, tie the yarn tails in a double knot. Hide the excess tail inside the fabric. That completes attaching one ear. Follow the same method. Sew the other ear symmetrically. If you want the ear position to be more secure, you can apply a little glue at the bottom. I won't demonstrate that here. That concludes the explanation for the ears section. This also completes the entire explanation of the facial features.